Hi, this is Ben Ivey, the fulfillment artist, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to be a morning person. I am so excited to tell you about this video because when I was preparing for it, I honestly had a few insights that I think are actually really helpful and very insightful. So I hope you find them amusing and helpful. So the first thing is that, do I consider myself a morning person? Yes. No matter what time zone I'm in the world, I manage to get up in the morning. Which puts it into perspective of what does a morning person actually mean? Well, for most people, it's saying, well, getting up early in the morning. Now, that's true. However, let's say, for example, you're in the US and you're in California, and you get up at 5 a.m. Now, in the UK, who's 8 hours ahead, that 5 a.m. is actually, 3 p.m. I think. No, 2 p.m., something like that. Now, does that mean that if I wanted you to change to be a morning person, I would just change the location of where you are? I mean, wouldn't that make most sense? Because let's say you're getting up at 7 p.m. Well, if I just send you back 2 hours to a different time zone, you'd get up at 5. It's something interesting to think about because people come up with these concepts and saying, I am a morning person, or I'm not a morning person, I'm an evening person. But really, it just depends on your time zone. And obviously, we've got the sun that has a big factor. But I just want you to understand that no matter where you are in the world, there's obviously different time zones going on. So it really depends on what time zone you're working at. Maybe if you just change the time zone, then psychologically it would have an effect on you. So the reason that I think that this video is going to be helpful as well is because while I've traveled, I've had times where, for example, I've flown to Turkey over like a 12-hour time difference, and I've literally stayed up the whole night and then had to adjust my body and somehow work out how to then have a morning routine and be a morning person again. I've had it where I've flown across, 15 hours from LA to China, like I have this time, and I've got, to give a talk the next day, and I've got to adapt my body. So I've got some really awesome hacks that can help just very quickly switch you in to getting into a morning routine, no matter which time zone you're in. So now that we understand that this morning person and this morning routine or whatever we have is kind of irrelevant, it's just psychological. Because really, if we change your routine and we change your habits, it's going to change the time in which you wake up. And there are some really cool hacks. And I'm going to give you 5 hacks quickly now that are going to help to make you more of a morning person. So number 1 is pick a time to go to bed. This is so important. If you want to become a morning person, you need to become a better evening person. The people that I know that don't have a morning routine and aren't morning people, they don't have an evening routine. Something to think about. So what I mean by this is you've got to pick a time to be in bed, whether it's 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., whatever it is for you, but you pick a time to actually be in bed, right? You brush your teeth, you're prepared, and then you're actually in bed. And some people say, yeah, well, I'm not tired. I'm like, okay, well, that's okay, right? But you will be after you go through the process that I tell you. So that's the first thing. So you've got to pick a time to be in bed and stick to it. Number 2, pick a book to read at night. So why is this important? Because reading and removing yourself from all screens, okay, is going to help allow your mind to slowly drift off to sleep. What most people do is they stare at screens, which activates a bunch of different things. It's all scientific. But either way, if you think about when people and when humans evolved previously, you wouldn't have a very bright screen in your face before you go to bed. So naturally, our eyes think it's morning, so we tend to stay awake for longer. So by removing those screens, you're going to sleep better. Okay? So pick a book and just read that, and then your brain will start to feel tired, and then you'll slowly drift to sleep. Next is drink water as soon as you wake up. Now, I cannot tell you how important this is. This is the best life hack, or whatever you want to call it, ever. Now, when I've just got back to Shanghai, right, I've struggled with getting myself in the morning routine. I woke up today and I was feeling awful. I really was. I was just feeling so tired. And I was like, okay, I forced myself up and I drank half a litre of water and I actually felt fine. From a minute from feeling horrible to then feeling fine and feeling better, and then I had more water and then I felt great. In 2 minutes you can do that. And it's just with water. It is so key. Make sure you do that. So, I told a business owner in California this. He messaged me the next day and he was like, it really works. And I was like, yeah, no shit. You know what I mean? Of course it works. You just get dehydrated through the night. So it's awesome and something that you've got to do. Next, have a morning routine. So even though we say morning routines, what does this actually mean? It means to have a clear idea of what you want to do. and you actually understand when you wake up, what is your next step, and what is the thing after, and what is the thing after that. Most people wake up and they're like, oh, I've got to leave at 8. I have an hour. I know I've got to have breakfast and wash, that'll take 15 minutes, I can just rest. That's how a lot of people wake up. You want to have some sort of routine, because then you're going to start to get yourself ready and you understand what you have to do. You don't have to make any decisions in the morning. You just go, right? For example, putting your clothes out and you know you're going to get up and go to the gym, right? Which moves me on to my next point. Exercise in the morning. So important. If you exercise in the morning, you're going to feel so much better. I know some people like exercising in the afternoon. Personally, I think that exercising in the morning is the best because it gives you the lift, it activates your brain, you're ready, you're rearing to go, work doesn't get in the way, you've prioritized yourself, you've prioritized your health, and you are ready to go. So, your morning routine can include affirmations, it can include, think of things you're grateful for. I mean, there's so many different ways to install that morning routine. But ultimately, once we have the evening routine and the morning routine, right? If you want to get up, if you already have these in place and you want to get up earlier, you just need to shift it back 2 hours. Now, someone will say, oh, but I just don't feel tired when I go to bed. That's okay. It may take you 2 nights to adjust because your body needs to adjust. So what this means is you set the alarm and you get up at that time. And no matter how you feel in the day, you power through, and I know you can, okay? And then you'll find it easier to sleep that night, and you'll sleep all the way through. And it's really, really easy to adjust. For example, being in Shanghai, there's been a time I woke up at 10, the next day was 9, and today is 7:30, for example. And then it's probably going to be, 6:30 and then 5:30 and then 5. Right? And it may take a little bit of time. I've had it where I just adjust immediately. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time. It just depends. So with that said, I hope you can become a morning person. And by saying that, you're already a morning person, right? Don't think that you have to become something, or don't say that I'm not a morning person, because what you say after I am is what you become. Quite cool. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it if you found it helpful. Comment if you have any questions, or if you have anything else that you want to add. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll speak to you very soon.